Welcome to the Properties to Profit podcast. I'm Michael, your host. Excited to share with you my journey from a six-figure job to building a successful real estate business. Each episode will explore various aspects of real estate investing, from wholesaling and flipping to managing rentals. I'll share the lessons and insights I've gained, aiming to help you avoid mistakes and achieve your financial goals. Expect guest experts, valuable tips, and practical advice to guide you on your own real estate journey. Thank you for tuning in. If you find any value in this podcast, please subscribe, share, and follow me on social media. Let's turn properties into profits together. Hey guys, Michael here with Properties to Profits. And on today's episode, really want to talk probate. Here, my home buying company, Oasis Home Buyers, gets tons of deals every year through probate. And some things we've learned and how to navigate these deals. And I want to share with you, if you're looking to get into probate, or you're thinking about investing with us and want to know how we're getting deals, well, probate is a source. Unfortunately, people die every day and leave these houses to family members, and they don't know what to do, and they need someone like us, Oasis Home Buyers, to come in and really help them out. And so that's what we're here to help people with. So let's talk about what that what that kind of looks like here, right? So I think there's a lot of things that come up during the probate process. So what I want to talk about is how probate can really help families navigate inherited real estate without the headaches. Unfortunately, when probate happens, it's a emotional and logistical. Unfortunately, when probate happens, it's emotionally and logistically overwhelming for most families. They haven't planned for the death of the loved one, and they don't know what to do with their assets or their houses. So they inherit these houses without a plan, and they're stuck managing these legal fees, property management, tenants, property upkeep, taxes, a mortgage, and any other bills the family might have. And then on top of that, they have heirs, and some of them want more money than others. Some of them don't understand what actually goes into taking care of a probate deal. And it can cause a lot of issues when families are divided, and not everyone's equally pulling their weight and solving the problem. And that's never a good thing on a grieving family. And that's where us as Oasis home buyers come in and really solve the problem. And if you're a home buying specialist and work for a home buying company, you can too. You can do this by stepping in as a trusted guide during the probate process. Real estate investors, we can help these families find relief. A lot of times we're able to speed the process up, which saves them money. We help them avoid costly mistakes, and we can help them get over the hump faster. A lot of times this allows us to build trust. This is one of the few ways we can get referrals in this industry, that it's really hard to get repeatable business in this industry. And so this is one way we can do that. And if you do it well, you can get a ton of referrals, and can make you a go-to problem solver when things get messy for other families. So here's how we really look at probates. We kind of focus on the five keys to navigating these deals, these inherited deals. So it's kind of our probate playbook. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but we're working on it and trying to improve it every day. And so first things first, it's legal, right? We got to figure out who the attorney says is going to inherit this thing. Some people are like, oh, I got a will, I know who it's going to. It's not that easy, and it's state by state. I've only done probate in Ohio, so I'm not going to comment on most other states. I don't know them that well. So this is for Ohio. And so in Ohio, you could go to a courthouse and do it yourself, but it's going to get dragged out, and a lot of times take a lot of time. And you can't sell the property legally until it's been transferred into the heir's name or the estate, depending on how things look from the attorneys. And this is where it can get pretty costly, right? Certain attorneys who don't do this a lot are going to probably charge a little bit more. They're going to want a retainer up front. And sometimes when you're dealing with someone who's inherited a property and not dealing with paying the mortgage, they don't understand how much time can affect things. So I've seen probate be on the cheap end around $1,000. I've seen it be as expensive at $20,000 too. But there were like 18 plus heirs, and multiple people had died in that process. And so Costs can drastically vary. It's really hard to give an estimate. Most of our probate deals are under $4,000 if I had to guess, but that's typically one or two siblings and they're working together or a wife inherited because her husband died or vice versa. Um, Now, second, you gotta make sure all the heirs are on board. All the heirs are on board. Are Do they want to work together? Do they want the same end result? Is one paying for it and one not? Uh, you gotta get all the expectations aligned. And working with a home buyer, if you're really good at it, even if they're not aligned, it's not that big of a deal. It's just you got to negotiate individually with each party. So if it's $100,000 house, you got two people. Well, you can pay one 40,000, you can pay one 60,000, right? Whatever they'll agree to. And a lot of times you have to talk to the heirs individually and kind of see what they want to do because they're not always aligned. One's sometimes paying for the property, one's not paying for the property. It's not uncommon if we can get all the heirs to sign over their interest, we take over the payments on the mortgage and stuff like that, keep it up. Anything to help make the process smoother, we're here to do for these sellers of the inherited properties. Um, we're going to help them educate themselves on what property maintenance needs to be done to keep the value, make sure that they are doing the very limited things that they can do to not lose value here. A lot of people go to renting and they say, oh, my daughter's going to rent it. And I've never seen that turn out well. It does maybe save you a mortgage payment, but then they stop paying and do a lot of damage. And we've bought 3 or 4 this year already in 2025 that were that way. They rented it out, thought the family members were going to take care of mortgage payments, and it just didn't go how they wanted it to. And unfortunately, they left it in a lot worse position than when they started running the place and never paid the rent. So it actually hurt the value. So we just tell people, hey, don't rent it out, especially not the family. A lot of times it's going to do more damage than good. And then the other thing too that you've got to talked about is that they do have tenants. Like you got to get the tenants on board and guide them through the pitfalls of dealing with tenants. And they got to be patient with tenants, and you got to follow a legal process if there is a lease in place. And then the last but not least, you got to educate them that liens could come up on this thing. We've learned the hard way that if you don't educate these new heirs, that there could be liens that we don't know about. And a lot of times these don't come up until after probate's complete because you don't know what bills they weren't paying or what credit cards they may or may not had or who they owe money. And so that can really reduce net proceeds. And here the thing is, there's nothing we can do about it. We've got to take the process through probate if they want to get any money. And so that's just something we like to show them up front. Now, during the probate process, there are some steps you want to take through. You want to stay in close communication with the attorney because the attorney is used to dealing with higher level people. They aren't educated on how to deal with distressed sellers who have inherited a property. And that can really, really make or break the process is how well the attorney communicates. And the attorney doesn't always make 3 or 4 phone calls a week to the sellers like, oh, I called them last week and they didn't call me back. Well, that's where you as the home buying specialist can really step in and bridge that gap and help them with that. We over communicate to these sellers because it's only going to bite us in the rear end if we don't. And so I always encourage you be that communication and let them know where the process is and make sure the attorney's reaching out to you. We always tell our attorney if they miss one check-in, you call us and give us the gist of what you need. And if it's legal jargon, we're just saying, hey, we're setting the appointment for the attorney and making sure that everyone is going to be on that next call. Because we want the attorney to explain the legal jargon. We're not legal aides. We're not attorneys or anything like that. So we overeducate about timelines and legal hurdles and possibly hidden costs. We're also building empathy this entire time into the conversations. A lot of times these sellers are under major stress. They just lost a loved one. They inherited a house. They think they're going to get a payday. There's a lot of emotional pressure here, and we're just going to have empathy. We've helped other people in this situation, and we're going to help you, and we're going to figure out your situation. We offer real solutions. Our attorney doesn't charge any legal fees up front like a lot of people do. We'll cover the closing cost and buy as is. Sometimes we'll take care of the legal cost if it's straightforward and everyone's on board, but really it's the case by case, and we're going to hold their hand. We've helped with evictions, all of those things, trying to take as much off their plate as possible. We've paid for lawn care, all of those things up front for them so they don't have to deal with it.
And just document everything because it can get messy. And you gotta remember, sometimes these things don't move smooth or fast. And so 3, 6, 9 months, they're upset with you. And if you've documented everything, it can really help you win the deal, win the trust, and at the end of the day, get a great review and potential referrals down the road. And what's this going to result in? Well, it's going to result in deals that close smoother, right? Who doesn't love that? Even when the legal process is slow. And these families that you're helping are going to feel supported, and they're going to recommend you to others. Attorneys will then begin referring clients to you because you've helped them get their paydays as well. And they found you to be organized and reliable. And here's the thing is, when you do enough of these, your company becomes the trusted probate solver in your market. And that's what we're trying to build in Ohio. We did over 20 probate deals last year, and we're trying to do 30 to 40 this year. And my opinion, this is going to work extremely well for people who follow a process like this or build out their own process. It's because most investors avoid the probates because it's super emotional, and a lot of times it's slow, and it's not uncommon for new things to come up every single probate deal, and it can be extremely frustrating. But if you can lean in and create a lot of value where others can't, people don't forget who helped them during a crisis, and attorneys love referring to someone who's going to make their job easier. They just want to get paid, and they want to get paid as fast as possible. What I've learned, probate is 80% people and 20% properties. So just solve their problems, help them overcome the emotionals, and help them get to the finish line of getting that payday faster and dealing with all the emotional stress of losing a loved one. Communication builds trust and will save the deal. If you're not touching base with them at least every week, you're going to run into issues. And expect delays, plan for obstacles, and educate up front. That's bit us in the butt when we didn't always tell them that we didn't check in to make sure their taxes were paid, and then liens got filed, and 18% that the state of Ohio charges on property taxes. We didn't educate what happens and what credit card hasn't been paid and all of those things. And so use my headaches in learning and shoot me a DM at Instagram, realestatemike02. And if you have any questions on probate and want some help to get through that, we can help you take that to the finish line if need be. And so what you want to do as you finish this up, if you want to grow your probate business and want to grow your real estate business and not have to spend a ton on marketing, build relationships with probate attorneys. You don't have to make a lot of calls because a lot of them think that every deal should go on the market. But you'll find if you make 100 calls, you'll find several who can come to the table and really help you out. And because they are just getting into probate themselves. And if you can help streamline that process and bridge the gap of communication that these sellers have, sometimes you can create a ton. So create a simple seller guide that explains the probate process in plain English. And then follow up consistently with probate deals. It's not uncommon for them to take 6 months. 60 days is a pretty fast one. And I don't get me wrong, I've had some take 2 to 3 weeks, but those are pretty easy ones. And so if you position yourself as the expert, a lot can happen. And so if you need help, reach out to us. If you know someone who needs to get through home buy or get through the probate process to sell their house, my company, Oasis Home Buyers, reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram. And if you're an investor and you need help getting through a probate deal, we'd love to work with you. You can Instagram message me, realestatemike02. And we're always looking for great salespeople or great people to build our home buying company. We did a little bit over $3.5 million in revenue last year, and we want to do over $5 million this year. And it's going to take great people. If that sounds like you, shoot me a DM with hiring, and we'll take you through the hiring process and see if you'd be a good fit here. I want you to know we have over 100 people apply every month, and we're maybe hiring 2 people a month. And so we're looking for people who don't necessarily believe in the whole work-life balance. They want to grow. They want to build something great. And we're trying to take this company to $100 million plus over the next 5 years. So if you think that sounds interesting, you want to be a part of that, you want warm leads, you want someone who gets a lot of leads and has a great sales process. For the month of March, I'm paying my top sales rep $18,000, and that's before any bonuses because we did not hit goal. And you want to be a part of that. I would love to hire another 2 or 3 ACK reps who have the desire to learn from our sales training and our sales coaches that we put you on calls with some of the best, Ian Ross and Steve Trang every month. That sounds like you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, realestatemike02. Hope you guys learned something today. If you have something to do with probate, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you for listening to the Properties for Profit podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Follow me on social media for more updates and tips. Until next time, keep turning properties into profits.